Welcome to Wild, Women in Lending Determined to Make an Impact. I'm your host, Robin Lavasser. They say our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to the Wild Podcast, covering, I said today it was the sexiest topic when I was teaching it, little bits and pieces of it to the company, calendar. Not that fun of a topic if you're really thinking about it. And I remember eye rolling when someone told me that a calendar would absolutely transform my business and my life. And I thought, yeah, right. Because the truth is, I'm kind of the queen of winging it. I'm not sure if that is you or in your business, but I think it's one of the largest issues in lending and in real estate in general, is we often feel like we are in a very reactionary world. And a calendar is the tool that we want to love to hate until we realize the value and the power that it holds in giving us our authority back. That's what a calendar can really do for you, is it allows you to say, I know I always say your ID, my intentional direction of where I am headed, and the calendar does that. And so I want to start with a few basic rules that if you are in a space where you're writing something down, I would really challenge you to hey, write down a few of these rules. And write them down and maintain them in a space where you're reminding yourself consistently. I love to do that with sticky notes and different things so that until it's like part of my DNA, if you will, I'm not taking anything down until it's just become so ingrained in me. And so let's talk about a couple things. One, the golden rule of a calendar is if it's not on the calendar, it does not exist, meaning the ability to execute is likely to not happen if it is not on the calendar. If you're thinking right now, how much is in your head? Give yourself just a minute and stop and think, how much right now is in my head? I need to book an appointment. I need a hair appointment. I need to buy somebody a gift. I need to review a few of those emails that people have sent over that have projects in them. I need to call these few clients back. I need to prospect and find a few new clients. I've got to take some time to fill out paperwork for my kids' school. I have to do whatever it is. Right now in your head, if you pause, you can think, even me, right now, I have a million things in my head that I'm literally smiling as I'm saying this because I'm thinking it's not all on the calendar. And the problem is the ability for it to get lost, the ability for it to get dismissed, the ability for it to feel last minute, procrastinated, stressful, chaotic, all is because it's right here. And where it's not is right here. Right on the calendar. And so the biggest rule, if it's not on the calendar, it does not exist. So first exercise I would challenge anybody for is brain dump everything. One of the things I love to say is we all know when Christmas is, right? Everybody knows. And you can answer immediately. It's December 25th. We all know it. We all know when it's happening. No different than we know that we have, whether it is dentist appointments or the need to see our referral partners face to face and how frequently that needs to happen. No different than we know that we need to have a certain number of appointments with clients. In order to get those clients, we need to be making a certain number of phone calls to referral partners and or to direct source, past client database, all of those things. If we know all the things that need to happen, maybe it's I need to do videos, I need to do mailers, I need to do this, I need to do that. Having all the needs here means nothing. Putting all the needs on and in a space that says, I have an allotted time booked to do this specific task, and now I'm going to execute. So let's go to rule number 2 for a minute. And that is rule number 1. I'm just going to say it one more time. If it's not on the calendar, it does not exist. Rule number 2, you can move, but not remove. So if it's on the calendar, it means it held enough value that it needed to get done. Now, there are definitely 2-minute drills. There are 2-minute drills where you knock out a few tasks and you didn't need to schedule any time for them, for sure. It's not, is your whole life there? No, that would be an exaggeration. But the truth is, The things that are important, for sure, they're there, right? All the way down to sometimes I'll never forget people saying, I forgot my wedding anniversary. I'm like, dude, how do you not have that on the calendar, right? Your mother-in-law's birthday, your kid's birthday, how old they're going to be, your sisters, your extended family, some of your dearest friends. Yes, you can rely on things like social media to ping and remind you, but the truth is there should be no more powerful tool that is really specific and personalized to you than your actual calendar. So here's what ends up happening. If you looked at your calendar right now, would you be able to say to yourself, I know the GPS for today and for the rest of this week is in alignment with all of my goals? That could be self-care. It can be family time. It could be friendship based. It could be your own hobbies that you need to have clearly calendared because they will get canceled or moved over or just never get started to begin with, and or your business. And so a game changer in my business, and it's a different podcast, but was a task that somebody gave me during a coaching semester. And they said, you have no choice, but every single day, 5 days a week, this entire semester, to see 3 people face to face and talk business. 3 people face to face and talk business. My calendar had to start reflecting that. And I'll explain to you why. When I started to fill those in, now I didn't always have people to meet with. In fact, I had whole weeks where there wasn't one single appointment, client appointment, loan application actually booked when I started doing this. But you start to fill in what you want it to look like, what your desires are. And then you become the person. We taught an accounts pyramid on, the podcast, and that's such a powerful tool because it allows you to take a bird's eye view and say, who am I actually chasing after? What am I doing to be engaged with them, right? When you think about the calendar, it's the same thing. It's now taking all the things you want off of that accounts pyramid and at home and in your marriage and all these things. And you're saying, do I have scheduled time for it? Time to either work on it or work in it. So working on it says I have 3 face-to-faces scheduled per day, but there's no names there. There's no Jones family. There's no Sally, the realtor. There's no so-and-so, the insurance agent who can also refer. There's nobody in there. So working on it says I'm going to go find those people to start filling those spaces because I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do to be successful. And if it's on that calendar, then you can take a look and go, man, we filled now. What started for me was we filled 1 consistently. Then we filled 2 consistently. Then the more powerful thing was I learned if I didn't have one of those appointments filled, I had to go find the person. I would decide to go pop into a real estate office that afternoon during that time block. I would try to hop on, right, calls and can I swing by and bring you a cup of coffee? I'm in your neighborhood, whatever it was. It became a non-negotiable for me because it was on the calendar and I wanted to get it done. So take a minute, look at your actual calendar and say, how much is not on there that I know I need to be doing and that I get to do? I said earlier, as I was teaching, I said the word have to do. And I'm like, yes, you have to prospect to be in sales. You have to, for sure. But you get to is a more powerful statement, right? And so I get to do all of these things today. Does everything that I get to do that will get me to the results that I want, is it scheduled? And it's not just business things. The other power of it is all of a sudden when somebody calls and says, hey, I need to meet with you, Robin, I can say, and this is such a huge thing, hey, that sounds great. I've got 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock on Tuesday or Thursday. Which one is best for you? And all of a sudden, I know when my slots are. Now, if none of them work for the client, for the referral partner, do I make adjustments? Yes, that's where you can move, but not remove, right? You can make the adjustments and say, you know what? I end up having to meet with somebody at 8 o'clock this morning, which means I had to move my team meeting and or my prospecting calling time period to 3 o'clock this afternoon because my other appointments were filled, but something had to move, not remove, because it's still important enough to be on my calendar. Sometimes things move an entire day. I can tell you I still have to move things around. You know what? I'm not going to be able to do that. Let's move it over here. Let's move it to next week. Let's change it here. Those are important elements to just being able to look down and say, gosh, is everything here? And do I have time allotted for it? Because what happens otherwise is you allow for distraction. You allow for interruptions. And one of the best things that I heard this year was show me or tell me all your excuses, but show me your calendar with them. Because the truth is, we just don't put enough down in a space and then decide to follow it. A calendar is followed 80% of the time, meaning 80% of what you have on the calendar was done the right way. And I can tell you that's a pretty good indicator that you've had a great day. You might not get through 100% of it, but what parts of it are you choosing to skip and or you're not putting in there, so you're allowing the distraction and the interruption? And I'll give you an example on that for a second. All of a sudden you have on your calendar, because this is a real thing, I need to check email. In an 8-hour workday, if you had it calendared 4 times to check email, that would make for sure you getting back to anybody within 2 hours or less, which is really good customer service. So I'm going to go in and check those emails. Here's where we get lost. Oh, it says check email time. I'm going to go do that. Oh, I checked my email, but then I started working on all the tasks in my email. Where maybe at 3:00 in the afternoon, you have the files in process time where, hey, I'm working on some tough things that come up in business for my specific business. And so I'm going to work on those. Oh, wait, just because I'm checking email doesn't mean I work on them right now. It means I then add them to my file time, unless it's a code red or a crisis, which sometimes we just pretend it is, right? To make it feel important, to allow for the distraction, to write ourselves a list of excuses to not stay on task. Now, the truth is, most things, when things are running well, can be handled. Hey, at 3:00, we have file time. Let's jump into file time at 3:00. And these emails are going to plug into there so that I can get it taken care of. I'm going to respond to email and say, hey, I have time at 3:00 to work on the file. I'll have answers to you by end of business, something to that degree. But our temptation is, oh, wait, I was supposed to be prospecting right now, or I have nobody in my face-to-face appointment. So backing up to this, I checked my email. So I'm just going to work and let everything get thrown off for the day and not do the things that I need to do. A great tip is, your success tracker, your greatness tracker, if you will, everything that you're saying, this is what I want to do in a week. If all of that's not scheduled on the calendar, the likelihood of it happening, probably less than 5%. Some of the things might happen, but it's all going to feel like it's coming at you instead of you being able to come at it. Huge difference. So schedule your priorities, not just your tasks. It's a great rule for the calendar. I'll say it again, schedule your priorities, not just your tasks. So if a priority is, I want to have dinner with my spouse once a week, it should be scheduled. If a priority is, I want to see my best friend at least 4 times a year that lives out of town, it should be scheduled. So schedule your priorities, not just tasks. Goals, strategy, relationship building, anything you're thinking about can translate into time on the calendar. Again, whether it's you giving it space to just work on it and or engage in it, it needs space somewhere. And what's so beautiful about a calendar is that it takes everything that's cluttering and chaotic in your head and it puts it somewhere in an appropriate time, space, so that then you can execute it knowing this is where I'm supposed to be right now. This is what I'm meant to be doing right now. And when we're in alignment with ourselves, we're more aligned in our business, in our life, personally and professionally. Makes a huge difference. Theme days are a great thing. You might say, hey, Wednesday, I'm going to see nobody. I'm going to do calls, but I'm going to double down on my appointments visually in other spaces. You might want to work a 35-hour work week and close the same amount of loans. All of it's doable. It's just a matter of what you can do in any given day, how it's scheduled, what you're able to do. The most important time generally in everyone's day. A lot of people are like, I work better in the evenings than at night. Yes, possibly. But the truth is we're at our best generally in the morning. And so you do your hard stuff and your most disliked items first thing so that your reward is afternoon. If you save the hard stuff for the end, you will find a way to get out of it, run out of time, not make it happen. So hard things, disliked things happen first. Going to the gym is hard for me. Needs to happen first. I've tried 6 ways to Sunday to do it in the evening because I don't love getting up super early. Does not work. I absolutely have to just do it first and knock it out, or I'll find every reason known to man to not actually have the workout. So hard things first. Utilize the tools that are available, everything from email to time blocking to sharing it with other people, having tools for people to be able to see their options, to get a hold of you and choose slots that are actually pre-prescribed prescribed. I asked every loan officer that was on our sales call if right now they would show me their calendar and I could clearly see a roadmap of what they wanted to do, what their strategy was, how they were going to execute, what their needed tasks were, and if they had really thought of all of those things and put them in a place that says, here's my roadmap of success for today. And the truth was, none of them could say yes. And I will tell you, as a loan officer that felt like I was working 60, 70, 80 hours, when truthfully, some days I was probably working 20 to 30 hours working and then completely chaotic. And then other times, yes, working 60 plus hours, at least not at home and in the business, and closing 5, 6 units. The calendar was one of the number one tools that took me to closing 25 plus units a month consistently, but keeping my hours at 45 and putting my life back in a place where I absolutely had joy in addition to time, in addition to money. And that is really the value and the power that a calendar can give you. I hope you found this episode helpful. See you soon.